Ghost Tales.
Hey girlies and ghoulies, and welcome to the Girly Ghost Tales Podcast.
We're your hosts for the evening. I'm Lia.
And I'm Amber.
And this is a supernatural podcast about ghost stories, ghost hunting, conspiracies, witchcraft, haunted objects, places, even people, and everything in between with a little bit of girl talk mixed in.
What more could you ask for? Tonight we have some bone-chilling, spine-tingling tales and tropes for you to immerse yourself in. This week's episode is all about Friday the 13th and the Strawberry Moon.
So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get comfy, and to the grave we go.
This week I did Friday the 13th. Let's see. Friday the 13th is widely considered an unlucky day in Western superstition, a cultural phenomenon that continues to persist in modern times. Despite living in an age of scientific advancement, millions of people still avoid making major decisions, traveling, or scheduling important events when the 13th day of the month falls on a Friday. The fear is so widespread that it even has a clinical name, which, bear with me, paraskevidecatryphobia. A phobia.
It's literally like impossible to pronounce.
Yeah, it's like the longest name too. Derived from Greek words meaning Friday, 13, and fear. But where did the superstition originate and why has it endured for so long? The superstition surrounding Friday the 13th likely stems from the combination of two separate beliefs, that Friday is an unlucky day and the number 13 is unlucky. On their own, both ideas are ancient. In Christianity, Friday has long been considered unlucky because it is believed to be the day Jesus was crucified. Some interpretations also suggest that Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden on Friday, and that the Great Flood began on the same day. The number 13, meanwhile, has been associated with bad luck for centuries. One of the most cited origins is the Last Supper, where Jesus dined with his 12 disciples, making Judas the betrayer the 13th guest. In Norse mythology, a similar tale involves the mischievous god Loki arriving as the 13th guest at the banquet in Valhalla, leading to chaos and death. The merging of these two unlucky elements into a specific fear of Friday the 13th seems to be a relatively modern development, first gaining widespread attention in the 19th and early 20th centuries. The fear became part of a popular culture after a publication of Thomas W. Lawson's 1907 novel Friday the 13th, which tells the story of a stockbroker who uses the superstition to manipulate the stock market and cause a crash. The fear of the Friday the 13th continues to affect people and institutions in surprisingly tangible ways. Some buildings skip the 13th floor, labeling it as the 14th, or simply omitting it. Airlines often do not have a row 13. Many people refuse to travel or make large purchases on that date, and it's been estimated that the economy loses hundreds of millions of dollars annually due to reduced activity on Friday the 13th. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even hospitals and medical centers report having higher rates of appointment cancellations and no-shows. Some people suffer from such intense fear that they avoid leaving their homes entirely on that day. Which, as somebody who schedules appointments for a hospital, there's been a few times where, like, it'll be a Friday the 13th, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, we have an opening this coming Friday, the 13th or whatever, and they're like, let's pick a different day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was that common.
Yeah.
I get excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, let's do something.
Yeah. That's literally what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. There's other people too, like, with random holidays, like, I don't know, like, well, July 4th, I guess, is a widely spread holiday. I don't know. But, like, Valentine's Day, people are like, I don't want to go to the doctor on Valentine's Day. Or like,
really?
Let's pick a different day. And I'm like, it's just a random day.
I had someone, like, when I was working at the clinic, I had one person that I brought them like up to schedule their next appointment, and it was on Halloween, and they were like, "Nope, I'm not coming here on Halloween."
Yeah, I've had that too. It's like, it's just a day.
I get
I
like
wouldn't want to go.
excited
Yeah,
about like days like that.
I feel like I wouldn't want to go to the doctor on Halloween just because I'd, rather be doing anything else, like watching scary movies or something.
Yeah, but not because like you're scared of it or something.
I'm not scared to leave my house and go to the doctor.
No, I literally like want to go places when it's like Friday the 13th.
While the superstition has deep cultural roots, there is no scientific evidence to support the idea that Friday the 13th is any more dangerous or unlucky than any other day. Studies that have attempted to explain accident rates or economic downturns on this date have yielded mixed or inconclusive results. Psychologists often explain the persistence of the superstition through confirmation bias. People are more likely to remember bad things that happen on Friday the 13th and dismiss similar events on other days. This cognitive bias reinforces the belief and keeps the myth alive, which that makes sense. Because you're always going to remember, that specific day, or like on a holiday that something bad happened. The superstition has been further embedded in public consciousness thanks to popular culture, most notably the Friday the 13th horror film franchise that began in 1980. The series introduced the world to Jason Voorhees, a masked killer who has since become an icon of the horror genre. While the films are fictional, they contributed significantly to the myth of the day, blurring the lines between ancient superstition and modern fear. I really think I've only watched one of those movies.
Yeah, I want to watch like more of them.
Yeah. I remember one Friday the 13th. They had like a Friday the 13th marathon on the TV, and my mom was like, "We're gonna watch it." And I think we watched one movie, and then I was like, "Okay."
Really?
So some notable days or things that like happened on Friday the 13th. On October 13th, 1307, one of the most often cited origins of Friday the 13th superstition is this real historical event. King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of the Knights Templar, accusing them of heresy, idolatry, and other crimes. Many were tortured and executed. His brutal purge has retroactively been tied to the superstition. October 13th, 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed in the Andes Mountains. Of the 45 people on board, only 16 survived, and their rescue came after 72 days. The survivors were forced to resort to cannibalism to stay alive. The crash occurred on Friday the 13th, and the harrowing tale later inspired the film Alive.
Never heard of it.
I feel like I have heard of that, but I didn't realize... Or maybe I'm thinking of another story that's similar. Friday, September 13th in 1940, during World War II, the German Luftwaffe bombed Buckingham Palace during the Blitz. King George VI and Queen Elizabeth were in residence at the time. Though the palace was heavily damaged, the royal family survived. The symbolic attack was a psychological blow to Britain, happening on Friday the 13th. January 13th, 1939, in Victoria, Australia, a catastrophic wildfire known as Black Friday killed 71 people and destroyed thousands of buildings and livestock. The extreme heat, strong winds, and dry conditions led to one of the country's worst natural disasters. So October 13th, 1989, on this day, the U.S. stock market experienced a mini crash due to a failed leveraged buyout deal of the United Airlines. The Dow Jones dropped over 6%. While not catastrophic like the 1929 crash, it fueled fears and was quickly linked to the superstition of the date. August 13th, 2004, Hurricane Charlie, a Category 4 storm, struck Florida, killing 15 people and causing $16 billion in damages.
Holy.
Yeah.
16 billion?
That's so much money. It was one of the strongest hurricanes to hit the U.S. at the time and is still considered one of the worst natural disasters in Florida's history. Fear of Friday the 13th is a fascinating blend of myth, religion, history, and psychology. Though rooted in ancient beliefs, it has managed to evolve with the times, fueled by media and cultural storytelling. Whether viewed as a quaint superstition or a genuine source of anxiety, Friday the 13th remains a powerful example of how deeply embedded folklore can influence modern behavior. Ultimately, it serves as a reminder that, rational or not, the stories we tell ourselves can have a very real consequence.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like when you think something and believe it, then that's what your reality is going to be.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking like, oh, this is going to be like the worst day ever and something bad's going to happen, then you're more likely to like manifest that happening to you. I feel like maybe that's why I've never had any like bad experiences with like Friday the 13th, because I'm always like excited and like happy and like think that something cool is gonna happen.
Exactly. That's what I think too. Both of my parents were born on the 13th, so my dad's birthday is February 13th and my mom's is December, and both of them love when their birthday falls on a Friday the 13th.
I would too. I would like be mad if it didn't every year.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, a Tuesday? Lame.
I feel like my birthday is like always on like a Tuesday or like a dumb day.
It's always like a random
weekday. Or you just don't have a birthday for the year.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't have a birthday. My birthday's on Friday, February 29th, for those of you wondering.
I thought you were going to say my birthday's on Friday the 13th.
Every year, Friday the 13th. Whatever month it is, that's my birthday. So I looked up some like Reddit stories, just like some unlucky events. They don't fall on the Friday the 13th, but they're unlucky, so I just felt like it worked. So one of them says, saved up a lot of money to go on a trip around the US. I never go out of my comfort zone like this, and it was legitimately the one time in my life I was excited about going on holiday. All my mates were coming with me. It was going to be great. It took over a year to plan. The whole thing cost about $8,000 in euros. I don't know what that means. In American.
I don't know how much that is.
Yeah.
But
I think they're pretty similar. I think it might be a little less in the US. I can't remember.
I think so.
For just myself. And it was meant to be my last big holiday of my 20s before I hit 30 and settled down and start a family. So no pressure. Got on the plane, watched LOTR on the way over, feeling good.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah. I was like trying to think. Got off the plane, got a bit of a headache from the pressure. No problem, I'll just go buy some paracetamol? I'm assuming some sort of like
headache
Tylenol
medicine?
or ibuprofen sort of thing.
Something in Europe.
Yeah. Walk into the local CVS, look around, no paracetamol. Huh. I thought. Googled the next best thing. Apparently Americans don't really do paracetamol. God, I don't like that word.
Can't even pronounce
it. So the next best thing is aspirin. Buy some baby aspirin over the counter, pop one on the way back to the Airbnb, go out to experience Austin, our starting point. With the lads, all is well. About 4 a.m. that night, I awoke, no pain or bad stomach, just knew I had to go to the bathroom. Got up, walked to the toilet, unloaded. But what came out was not shit. It was blood, lots of it.
What?
Oh. I mean, pints of it. Ooh.
What?
That's scary.
Pints of blood?
That's disgusting. And it was going absolutely everywhere. It was pouring out of me like a faucet, and the smell was rancid.
Oh my god.
I did my business over about an hour, cleaned up, which took about 20 minutes, and then went back to bed. In the morning...
Went back to bed?
Yeah, just like lost a lot of blood, and then was like, I'm good.
Oh my god.
My mates were like, smell is awful. Who had a poopy? I owned up to it and explained what had happened. There was lots of concern, but ultimately I concluded it was worrying, but had ultimately ran its course, so I just wanted to go out and start the holiday. I managed to walk my newly very pale self maybe 5 minutes from my hotel before it started again. More blood, more intense. I essentially spent the next day pooping out all of my blood. By the time I could no longer make out any pigmentation on my skin or walk or make sense of my surroundings, I told my friends perhaps it's time to call an wince American ambulance, which is very valid because they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
An adult male should have 10 units of blood. By the time I arrived at the hospital, I had around 2.3. I was literally just a few hours away from dying. Well, I proceeded to spend pretty much my entire 14-day holiday in the ICU. My mates went off to enjoy their holiday without me and came back on the last day to pick me up and take me to the airport, which we had to pay a premium for since it wasn't our original plan to leave from there. All in all, my fortnight in the ICU came to around $150,000. Traveler's insurance covered all but $6,000 of it. So the next 8 months was me on the phone to them every day fighting them over it. I eventually won, but being very weak and very anemic it was hell. Turns out I have an allergy to aspirin, and the allergic reaction to that tiny single 75 milligrams of baby aspirin burned sizable holes in my stomach. So yeah, it was the unluckiest thing to ever happen to me. It robbed me of a sizable chunk of cash, time, and my quality of life for a year, and the experience of a lifetime. Can you imagine just taking one tiny little aspirin?
I don't get how that could have even happened.
Yeah, I feel like even if you're allergic, that seems like a crazy reaction for your body to have.
And I feel like that person needs better skills at figuring out when to go to the doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's a lot of blood to lose the first night.
Yeah, if you spend an hour pooping out blood and half an hour cleaning it up, don't go back to bed, go to urgent care.
Yeah, I feel like
you wouldn't have to call an ambulance, and it would not have been $150,000.
Yeah. Oh.
And how can you go back to bed if
Yeah.
you just
I'd be
lose
so
pints
scared.
and pints of blood?
I'd be like,
I'm dying.
Yeah, literally.
I need to go to the hospital. I'm gonna die tonight.
Oh, that's nuts. People are wild.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving for Uber Eats, delivering someone's food, in traffic at an intersection. I see a guy on a bike jump off it and run. I look at the driver to my left to see that he's unconscious, looks possessed, drooling, drives right into the side of my car. I couldn't move due to traffic and pedestrians. He had a seizure. Since I was driving for Uber Eats, my auto insurance wouldn't cover it because I didn't sign up for commercial use. His auto insurance wouldn't cover it because it was a medical condition and caused the accident out of his control, so couldn't blame fault. My car was a total loss. It took 3 to 4 months of investigation. Eventually his insurance paid out, but only gave me $1,000 for my pain/suffering/headache they put me through. I feel like that's not, yeah, I guess that's a little bit of bad luck for you, but I feel like that's worse luck for the guy who had the seizure.
Yeah.
His insurance didn't want to
right.
pay anything because it was a medical.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You can't control that if you didn't know. I guess maybe if it was a
pre-existing
thing. And you knew that you could have seizures out of nowhere, but
then I feel like you shouldn't be driving anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you're technically supposed to.
Yeah, if you know that you have that. Yeah, I don't think, depending how bad it is,
yeah,
I don't think you're supposed to drive.
Ugh.
Especially alone too. Have someone else drive with you or something.
Crazy. Driving to work I just realized this post was from 15 years ago on Reddit. God. That's crazy. Driving to work a couple of years back, I was telling my business partner, who I always used to give a lift to the office to, what a result I'd had on eBay for a new bumper for my car that I'd recently fitted myself. No sooner had the words, "Mate, you wouldn't believe what a bargain my rear bumper was," left my mouth Someone flew into the back of me at 40 miles per hour, rode off my car, and gave me whiplash. I now avoid talking about good luck in attempt to avoid further bad luck.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
That one does sound like bad luck.
Yeah, that sucks. You're like excited. You're like, look at the deal I got on this bumper. And then lose the bumper you just got.
I'd be so mad.
Me too. Not me, but my friend. She was from a good family in college and had a bright future. She dropped out of school for a random guy she met. She got pregnant and married him. She had been married for a year and had a newborn. Because he was a loser and didn't work, they were in a trailer. He cheated on her, left her, stole her car, and left her with nothing in a trailer with a newborn baby. Then someone from her family gave her a crappy car so she could get to her job. It broke down. Then her baby got lice in its eyelashes and what little hair it had at daycare. She had to pull the lice eggs out of her baby's eyelashes while it screamed.
God.
Ugh. We used to have a saying, it can always get worse. Just when you think nothing else could go wrong, I assure you that something can. Anyways, some of that bad luck was due to her own choices, but she had a ridiculously horrible run for a couple years. The lice.
That's
out of the eyelashes.
Disgusting. I didn't know they could even be in your eyelashes.
Yeah, I think I knew that, but I feel like it's not
like rare.
Yeah, I feel like maybe because it's a baby and they really don't have a lot of hair, it just like took
so
root and
gross,
whatever.
Though.
Yeah, because it's just so close to your eyes.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
And lice are just nasty anyway. Like yuck. So I did mine on the strawberry full moon. So, what is the strawberry full moon? So, the strawberry moon is the name given to the full moon in June, and no, it doesn't actually turn red or pink like a strawberry. The name comes from Native American, specifically Algonquin traditions. They used the lunar cycles to track the seasons, and this moon coincided with the ripening of strawberries across North America. So, Strawberry Moon wasn't mystical at first, it was practical. It signaled the time to harvest the berries, especially wild ones that only appeared for a short period. Other indigenous tribes had different names for the June full moon, depending on what was important in their region. The Cherokee called it the green corn moon. The Ojibwa referred to it as blooming moon. The Tlingit called it the birth moon because it was the time animals gave birth. In Europe, especially among pagan groups, it was sometimes known as the honeymoon, which is where we get the tradition of the honeymoon. So, does the moon turn pink? Despite the name, the strawberry moon usually appears golden or pale amber. However, sometimes it can have a reddish tint, especially if it rises near the horizon during sunset because of the way Earth's atmosphere scatters light. So when the strawberry moon coincides with the summer solstice, which it sometimes does, it stays low in the sky, creating long-lasting, colorful appearances that people associate with magic moons. So some of the folklore and superstitions around the strawberry moon. The first one is love and fertility. In European pagan traditions, June was a powerful time for love spells and like manifesting ceremonies. And I feel like that's common here too. Because when I was first looking it up, that was like the first thing that came up was like it's a good time to try to manifest like your relationship and like love and if you're like trying to conceive and stuff.
I was gonna say, I think technically we both would have been conceived in June.
Oh, really?
I think I remember that being when I was conceived, and then if you're on the first, you would have been around that time too.
Oh, really? I didn't even think about that. That's like interesting. That makes me feel like it's like not just superstition and that they actually knew like what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So the strawberry moon was considered a love moon, perfect for fertility rituals, attraction spells, and romantic unions. This is also where the honeymoon moon originated from. So couples would marry in June and drink mead made from fermented honey during the first full moon of their union, believed to ensure happiness and fertility.
What the heck? I wish I would have known about that.
I
would have done
know,
that.
I know. So the second superstition is about like dreams and premonitions. So some Native American stories say that dreams during the strawberry moon are extra potent, especially ones that feature berries, water, or the color red. So pay attention to your
I was
dreams
gonna
this
say,
month
I'll have
and
to.
see if you like notice anything like that.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
In some European and Slavic folklore, if a girl dreamt of strawberries on this full moon, it meant she'd meet her future husband within the year.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
wonder like how many people that happened to
Yeah.
and that they met them. Like I wonder if they dreamed about them and then because they believed that they would meet them, like it made that happen, like they manifested it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how a lot of the like superstitions are, like it's mostly about people believing things.
Yeah.
Like so I feel like if enough people believe that, then it can come true.
Kind of goes back to the Friday the 13th thing. If you believe that something bad's going to happen, it probably is.
And like the Philip experiment where they like manifested that ghost to
Yeah.
like levitate the table and stuff when there was no Philip to even begin with.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me think that all of the like superstitions and folklore that we read are like there's obviously some truth to them.
Yeah. The human mind is
Powerful.
Yeah, well, I guess in the universe too.
Yeah. And then the third superstition is for warding off mischief. So there's a Welsh belief that the strawberry moon opens the veil to nature spirits and fae who come out to play tricks. Offerings of berries were left at forest edges to keep the fae happy and protect crops.
Oh.
And I like feel like I believe that one the most out of all of those.
For sure. Very much believe in the fae.
Me too.
Kind of scare me.
I know. I used to think they were like cool and I wanted to like see one, and now I'm like, after like the stuff I've read about them, and they seem kind of like bad and like creepy and like they would mess up your life or something.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird because I feel like in pop culture, they're like these cute little fairies.
I know.
But like I feel like when you actually dig into it, they've got more of like a mysterious or mischievous background.
Have you ever like looked up videos about fairies or anything?
I haven't recently. I feel like I've seen some.
I went down like a rabbit hole once, like last year when I was looking, I saw a video of someone walking in the woods and they were like, this is a fae trap, and it was like a perfectly like a perfect looking tree that was perfectly in the shape of like an opening, and there was like something in the middle of it like on the ground, but it looked like it was like a little trap like to lure you over there. And all the comments were like, do not go in there. So I like went down a rabbit hole about those and saw like so many videos of people in the woods saying like, does this look like a fae trap? And it always looked so like creepy and like unsettling.
They're always like perfect archways or like a perfect circle on the ground.
And like, why do they want to lure you into there?
Like, what do you want from me?
Like, do you turn into one of them, or do they like?
If that was the case, I might just dive right in.
I know, and that's like what I'm thinking too. But then I'm like, no, they are bad, and they're gonna like
cause a bunch of bad luck,
curse you or something. Yeah. So some spiritual and metaphysical meanings the strawberry moon is associated with. The first one is fulfillment and abundance. So it marks the midpoint of the year, a time to check in with your goals and see what's blossomed and what needs weeding. Healing the heart, because it's tied to the heart chakra. Many healers say this full moon is the best time to release grief, regret, and emotional burdens. Self reflection and sensuality. With its connection to summer, warmth, and ripened fruit, it's also a time for reconnecting with the body and intuition. And I feel like that like resonates a lot like right now with me too. And when I was first looking it up, that was in most of the articles I saw too, was like it's a perfect time for self-reflection and like healing of your mind and your body and anything that needs healing really. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So spiritual practitioners often do moon bathing, which is laying under the moonlight to cleanse energy, charge crystals in the moonlight, full moon journaling, and burning old intentions that no longer serve them. I feel like I do like most of those when there's a full moon.
Yeah.
But I want to look up some more stuff and figure out like a little ritual to do for like every new moon and every full moon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always like feel better when I do stuff like during the full moon too.
Yeah. I feel like that's the worst part again about living in town is I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can see the moon, but I feel like it's not as.
It's more blocked by like the buildings and everything.
So I never get a good chance to like really put my crystals out or anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking like I have a nice slab of a back patio and I could just lay out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always charge them, and it's weird. I think I told you this, but I always get sick usually if there's like a full moon. Like it's so weird. And it's always like the same sickness. So I looked it up, and it says that during the full moon, if you have like parasites or anything from like sushi or like any kind of like parasite from food or bacteria, that when there's a full moon is when they're like the most active. And so that can make people like nauseous and sick. And this has happened like 3 different times now. And the first time I didn't even know that it was like a full moon, so I know it's not like my head like tricking myself into being sick, but it always happens exactly the same. I'll wake up at like 2 in the morning and I'll like feel like I have heartburn and I'll feel like full and like sweaty, and then I'll like go back to sleep, and then I wake up like an hour later and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna puke. And I like get up and I puke for like hours, and I'm like sweating and like literally puking like on the floor, and I'll be like sleeping that entire day, and then the next day I'm completely fine. And it's happened 3 different times during the full moon.
I feel like I've noticed that that's happened to you.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
I don't get it. And it's not like it's always happened. Like, it's only been like 3 times. It didn't happen on the last full moon, but it happened on the one before that. And I was so sick that I had all my crystals like laid out and ready to bring them outside. And I didn't even like get out of my bed to bring them outside because I was like so nauseous and like sick. But it's just weird how it's always at like 2 in the morning. I'll wake up and I just like know that I'm about to be sick in like a couple hours.
That's the worst too.
Yeah, it's really annoying. So if anyone else has that happen and you know what it is, let me know, because I was convinced that I had parasites and I was gonna buy like a parasite cleanse to do. But then I saw like if you do those, like if you do have parasites, they'll come out of like your nose, your ears, like anything, your mouth, they could, depending on how many you have. So I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to risk that.
No, and the last one I wasn't sick, so if I did, maybe I got rid of them somehow. But like, I think I would die if I saw any type of parasite like come out of me anywhere. Like, I don't want to know if there is any.
Just live and
just stay, but leave me alone.
Yeah.
Or I'll just deal with being sick during the full moon.
I think I'd rather just deal with that than ever have to see anything.
Yeah. I don't think I would recover from that.
No, I don't think so either.
So, some interesting astronomical facts about the strawberry moon. It's usually the last full moon of spring or the first of summer, depending on the solstice, which this year it is the first full moon of summer. And because of its low arc in the sky, it appears larger and more orange, which gives it that dreamy summer vibe. It's also often a supermoon, meaning it appears brighter and closer because of its proximity to Earth in its elliptical orbit.
I love when the moon looks just giant.
I know, it's my favorite. I wish it could look like that all the time.
I know. Ugh.
But then anytime I try to take a picture of it, it looks like crap. No
yeah.
matter how big it is.
I know.
Like, I want to get a camera specifically just to take pictures of the moon.
I know, and then some people can get really good ones on their phone, and I'm like, how?
I know.
I don't know. Am I doing something wrong?
I know. It always just looks like a blurry, like nothing.
Yeah, like a flashlight in the distance.
It's so annoying. I get like pissed about it. Like, I'll like stand outside for like 15 minutes trying to like take a video or a picture, and I'll like make myself mad about it. So, some global celebrations and beliefs about the strawberry moon. The first one is with Wiccans and pagans. So they celebrate this moon as part of the Esbat rituals, which are full moon ceremonies held to give thanks to the goddesses, which that's what I want to do for this full moon too, for like Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Like give her an offering and find out like what little ritual I want to do.
Yeah.
And so the full moon this month is on the 11th, which you said that was a Wednesday, right?
I believe so.
Let me double check quick.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say, if we have a Friday the 13th this month, then that would be...
I know.
Yeah.
I wish it was on Friday the 13th.
Oh, that would be so much cooler. At least, like, the moon will be still pretty big on the 13th.
So, the full moon this month is on June 11th, which is a Wednesday. So, we are going to be doing our full moon ghost hunt that day during the full moon. Kind of nervous for it, just because this is like one of the like more important full moons, like to do things, and that they say the veil is like the thinnest. And we are going to a cemetery. So we're gonna be going to a cemetery in a town by us with a grave called Bertha's Grave, and she is supposedly someone who was a witch in the 1800s that the townspeople killed. So kind of nervous to go there on this full moon, but I feel like if our intentions are good and we like protect ourselves, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say hopefully. Nothing too scary will happen.
Yeah. And we'll be like respectful to her, and maybe she'll want to have a visitor on the full moon or something.
Like, oh my gosh, fellow witches.
Yeah. So they also associate the strawberry moon with the goddess in her mother aspect, pregnant with life and symbolic of abundance. So yeah, I feel like this month is all about like abundance and like healing and kind of that kind of stuff. Some Eastern traditions. In some Buddhist cultures, June's full moon coincides with, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Pasen Poya, a sacred day when Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka. It's a time of spiritual cleansing, similar to how the West uses the strawberry moon for emotional release. And then third is in modern witchcraft. Many modern witches and spiritualists use the strawberry moon to perform prosperity and love rituals. Common ingredients: strawberries, of course, rose quartz, honey, basil, and mint. Maybe we should bring, like, I know. What if we brought those ingredients and did, like, made our own, like, spell and did it, like, during the full moon at the cemetery? I don't know. Maybe not at the cemetery.
Maybe not. I mean, we could do it before we get to the cemetery.
Yeah. Ritual baths with strawberries, rose petals, and pink candles are used to increase self-love and magnetism. So I saw that and I was like, oh, I'm going to do that before we go there, like to cleanse and like set my intentions and stuff.
Yeah, I don't really love baths, but I do have a strawberry body wash.
Oh, really?
I could take a nice little shower.
Yeah, I want to do that for sure. I feel like we should do like stuff like that before we do like the ghost hunts, like
just to like
set like your intentions and like get rid of like any type of negativity, like how you said, like when you take a shower you like say that like you're cleansing,
washing anything away.
I feel like that's a good thing for us to do when we're like opening ourselves spiritually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some real life anecdotes or creepy reports from people. Some people report heightened emotions, intense dreams, or insomnia during the strawberry moon. One Redditor claimed they dreamed of being swallowed by strawberries and woke up covered in red hives with no known allergies.
Oh my gosh.
So I wonder if they were like, maybe they were doing something to themselves.
Yeah.
But that's.
Or, yeah, maybe they just had a reaction to the strawberry in their dream.
That would be crazy because that would be like they were in a different, like an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Like they weren't really dreaming, but their part of them was in a different reality,
Yeah.
maybe.
They were like astral projecting.
And that it actually did something to them. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think about stuff like that like constantly, like all of my dreams. I'm always like, what does this mean and where was I?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pay like close attention to my dreams this month too.
I feel like I haven't been having any.
Really?
My lack of sleep.
Yeah, true.
Like 2 hours at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you get some good dreams and
Yeah.
like some good sleep.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Just
gonna
start
manifest this month.
manifesting. I was gonna say manifest that for like the full moon. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Others claim that during the June full moon, their pets act strangely, barking at nothing, avoiding moonlight, or whining to go inside early. So I'm going to pay attention to my animals too and see if they act any different. A few ghost hunters have noted that activity spikes around this moon, especially in wooded areas or near berry patches.
Oh, your house? And my mom's house is right next to a berry patch.
And I feel like, so if activity is spiking and we're at the cemetery.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think of that either. I was just thinking your house because you live.
I know. I thought about my house too, and I was like, oh, great. My house is like already haunted, and like scary stuff happens there now all the time.
I should make my mom or tell my mom like to keep an eye out, see if anything happens.
Yeah, you should. One story from Maine tells a group that heard disembodied laughter while trying to record EVPs near an abandoned homestead in a strawberry field. So we'll talk about that story in a minute.
Crazy.
I know. That's after doing like the research on this, I was like, oh, I'm kind of nervous to do our ghost hunt this month with how much like compared to like other full moons, I don't know, it just seems like a more intense and like powerful full moon. So I guess we'll see what happens. So that will be live on our Patreon. So subscribe to our Patreon if you want to watch us live during that full moon.
We'll also hopefully record it and then post it after on Patreon.
Yeah, last time we tried recording and we kept getting kicked out of our Zoom and we had no service and just creepy stuff was happening. So we'll see if it lets us do it this time. I'm going to manifest that it will. So Strawberry Moon Legends and Ghostly Tales. The Strawberry Maiden, an old Appalachian legend, tells of a ghostly woman seen gathering strawberries under the full moon. She wears white, is barefoot, and vanishes when approached. It's said she was a settler's daughter who died in June and returns every year to finish picking berries for her dying mother.
Oh,
I know. I feel like
sad.
she's like a nice spirit in the Appalachian Mountains.
Which is rare.
Yeah. The red mist. In parts of rural Canada, there's a superstition that a red mist floats through berry patches under the strawberry moon. Locals say it's the spirit of the land, warning not to take more than you need. Those who get greedy are said to get sick or lose their crops the following year. So don't be greedy.
Yeah.
And the Fae crossing. Celtic traditions warn that fairy portals are most active on June's full moon.
Oh gosh.
People left strawberries near windows or doors to keep mischievous fae away, or else they might lose small items, suffer sleep paralysis, or even get taken into the fairy realm.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I feel like I want to go get some strawberries to leave.
Put them in my windows.
Because
my
that
dog will eat
scares
'em.
me. Yeah, I know.
I have to put them outside in the window.
That scares me though.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, the sleep paralysis is more scary than being taken to the fairy realm.
Sleep paralysis is like in my top like 3 scariest things that I'm like scared of happening to me.
Me too. That was weird.
I'm actually like surprised that it hasn't happened to me before.
I know. I feel like I don't think about it all the time, but I feel like I read stuff and see stuff about it so much that it's just like bound to happen.
And I always am thinking about it when I'm like laying in bed.
Yeah.
Like whenever I shouldn't think of something, my brain like thinks about it like over and over and over.
Yeah.
Like I like scare myself like unintentionally. And then some ritual ideas or modern celebrations to do for the strawberry full moon. Modern day moon circles often include berry themed potlucks, tarot readings, and gratitude fires where people burn notes of things they're letting go of. Some couples choose to get married or renew vows under the strawberry moon for its fertility and romance energy. Urban witches may make moon water by placing strawberries and crystals in a glass jar overnight to soak in the moon's energy, and I kind of want to do that too.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's like an easy thing
super
to do.
Easy. I still have like my moon water. Remember that moon water I gave you some of?
Yeah, I still have some of that.
I've had that for like years.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I feel like I almost want to do like just water and strawberries and like have that in my fridge to drink.
Yeah. That I know that would be a good idea, because then you'd be like energizing yourself with like the water that was like energized by the moon.
Yeah. And then maybe do a separate one too.
I know. I've been trying to do moon water, or like if it rains too, I have like 3 little jars that I've been like putting outside in the yard, but it takes so much for them to fill up, so they're only like this full right now. But I want to just keep putting like the same ones out there like when it rains, and like put them there under the full moon too to charge them. And then I don't know, I need to research some more and figure out some things to do with the moon water.
Yeah, I never know like what to do with it.
Yeah, and I like hoard it. Like I don't want to like waste it. So I want to make sure I'm doing something useful with it.
I don't know why the only thing I think about is like, in Catholic church where you like do the holy water. I'm like, should I do that every day?
I did that with that moon water too. I put it like on my wrists and like behind my ears there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It said I was looking it up like a long time ago, and I know a few things where like you can add it into your bath water or like wash your face with it. So those would be like good ideas to do too. I want to like do it in a little ritual type thing like during the full moon too. So I'll have to research that more. But this is the story about the group from Maine that heard the disembodied laughter. So this story comes from central Maine, just outside the... Okay, we are here alone, so there should be no noises. God, why does that have to keep doing that? It made me jump so hard. So this story comes from central Maine, just outside the town of Skowhegan, in a place where old strawberry farms used to thrive decades ago. The exact location is intentionally vague in online retellings, but the story has appeared on a couple of paranormal forums and even local Facebook groups dedicated to Maine folklore. Back in June of 2013, a group of amateur ghost hunters, 4 friends in their 20s, decided to spend the night investigating an old abandoned homestead that sat on the edge of a wild strawberry patch. The house had been empty since the 1950s, and locals whispered that the woman who had lived there, Miss Helen Avery, died under mysterious circumstances. According to legend, Helen had been a recluse in her final years, refusing visitors and living almost entirely off her land. Some said she believed the fae, yes, the fairy folk, had blessed her strawberry fields, and she would even leave offerings of milk and honey under a particular oak tree near the edge of her crops. She was found one June morning, dead in her bed, mouth stained red, with a bowl of strawberries still clutched to her chest.
Oh.
I know. So these 4 friends head out during the strawberry full moon, convinced that the timing might help stir something up. They bring a basic EVP recorder, a camera, and one of them, her name was Jess, was using the Ghost Tube app on her phone.
Oh gosh. Well, that's crazy that app has been around since 2013.
I know. I didn't think that was. I thought it was like new.
I did too.
Like a couple years or
Yeah.
something. So yeah, that's crazy. They get there around 10:30 p.m. The moon is full, low, and glowing amber. The air is still, no breeze, no bugs, almost too still. They explore the crumbling foundation of the house first. It's mostly collapsed now, just a fireplace, some stone walls, and a rusted bed frame half buried in tall grass. Jess starts asking the usual EVP questions. Is anyone here with us? Did you live on this land? Do you want us to leave? Nothing. They move out to the edge of the field, and this is where it gets weird. According to their retelling, around midnight, they begin hearing something they describe as children giggling, but not like 1 or 2 kids. It sounded distant at first, then moved closer, like a crowd of unseen kids running just out of sight. The laughter would start suddenly, then stop, leaving them in total silence. Jess plays back the EVP recording later, and you can clearly hear the laughter, even though they saw no one. Then the Ghost Tube app said, "Don't eat. It's hers. Watch."
I was like, don't eat, and then I remembered they were.
As they start to pack up, one of them, Tyler, says he felt like something brushed against the back of his neck, like fingers. No wind, no bugs, just that feeling of ice-cold contact. Jess turns to take a last photo of the strawberry patch. When she reviews it later, there's what looks like a woman in a bonnet standing near the tree line. She's pale, blurry, and has no visible face, just a white, blank oval where her features should be.
Oh.
They left after that. The next day, Jess posts in a local paranormal Facebook group sharing the recording and the photo. Several older members comment that Helen Avery's ghost has been seen for decades, always around the strawberry moon, always near that same oak tree. One commenter claimed their grandmother used to say, "If you hear the children laughing in the berry field, don't look back. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you."
Oh my gosh. That's scary. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, like everything basically is saying like activity spikes more, the veil is thinner, like you're opened up more. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an interesting full moon to do a ghost hunt, especially if we go to the cemetery.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll have to bring some strawberries or something.
Yeah, we should do that little ritual with like the strawberries and honey and stuff before.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could bring some with to like
Give
offer
it-
to
yeah.
her. Yeah. We are also gonna do a randonaut on Friday the 13th. So that'll probably be live on Patreon too. And then we can post the video of it after.
Yeah, we can probably put that on like YouTube or something.
Or we could also go live on like TikTok.
Oh yeah.
For like the randonaut.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Patreon.
Yeah. Either way, we'll post a video of our randonaut that we do on Friday the 13th. It's just an app that gives you random coordinates that you drive to.
Yeah.
And all of the videos that we've looked up about them, like they take you to just creepy weird, like, abandoned places. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where we go.
I know you're like, I think you're kind of supposed to like manifest like
Where
your
you wanna go,
intentions or something,
yeah.
or like put your intentions into what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
we should do that before too, and like set our intentions and like get rid of any type of negativity, because I do not want anything
I don't want
scary or
yeah,
bad to happen.
I hope it takes us to Dairy Queen.
If it doesn't, we can still pretend it.
We can swing on by on the way there. Thanks, girlies and ghoulies, for joining us. Those were some seriously spooky tales.
But hopefully not too scary, because we want you to join us again next week when we'll be swapping stories about possessions.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. We're on Patreon for $5 a month. You will have access to all episodes 1 week early, behind the scenes footage, our live full moon ghost hunts during every full moon, our haunted doll segment, Tarot Tuesdays, where we do readings and share ghost stories, and automatic entry into a monthly Girly Ghost Tales giveaway.
So make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and email us your ghost stories and anything paranormal at girlyghosttales@gmail.com. New episodes release every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Until next time, and remember, if you hear a whisper in the dark, it's probably just us.
But just in case, keep your lights on and your doors locked. Remember, the veil is always thinner than you think.
Good
Good
night.
night. Girly Ghost Tales.